Hello guys, today I'm gonna be reading about America's first sleeping car, the Pioneer. Pay attention guys, because it's going to be a very interesting story. During the heyday of railroads, when American rail system provided the bulk of the country's passenger and the freight transportation, various types of railroads cars were in service to accomplish the varied tasks handled by the railroads. One type of car that was not available for public use prior to the Civil War, however, was a sleeping car. Ideas for sleeping cars abundant at the time, but these ideas were unworkable. It unfortunately took the death of a president to make the sleeping car a viable reality. Cabinet maker George M. Pullman had recognized the demand for sleeping cars and had worked on developing experimental models of sleeping cars in the decade leading up to the Civil War. However, in spite of the fact that he had made successful test runs on the Chicago and Arthur railroads with his models, he was unable to sell his idea because his models were too wide and too high for existing train stations and bridges. In 1863, after spending time working as a storekeeper in Colorado mining town, he invested his savings of $20,000, a huge fortune at the time, and all the money he had in the world, in a luxurious sleeping car that he named the Pioneer. Pullman and friend Ben Field built the Pioneer on the site of the present-day Chicago Union Station. For 2 years, however, the Pioneer sat on the railroad siding, useless because it could not be fit through train stations and over bridges. Following the President Lincoln's assassination in 1865, the state of Illinois, Lincoln's birthplace, wanted to transport the presidential casket in the finest fashion possible. The Pullman Pioneer was the most elegant car around. In order to make the Pullman part of the presidential funeral train in its run from Springfield to Chicago, the state cut down station platform and raised bridges in order to accommodate the luxurious railway car.